Today is November 10th, 2020. This is a message to the Immigration Minister of Canada. The reason why I'm putting this together is to let you be aware of the challenges that I've been facing. My wife applied for a visitor's visa back in 2016, and she was denied. And the IRCC denied her based on they didn't think that she would leave the country, that she didn't meet the criteria. Well, what's interesting is everything was provided over and above, but yet she was still denied. Since June 2020, and this COVID has opened up my eyes to the reality of how flawed the immigration system has been. I don't know what to say, but to let you know that I am full of disappointment in trusting the policies of this government and of this immigration ministry. I am lost with words. I just buried my mom last Thursday. My wife and children will never, ever meet her, because of policies. I've lost 2 siblings besides my mom that they will never meet. On October 30th, you publicly declared that you're opening up the doors for immigrants to come into this country over the next 3 years. It seems to me that your mandate is more interested in having immigrants who meet your criteria, refugees, students, and everybody else that you deem the privilege to come into this country, but yet disallow the right for my children and my wife to come visit this country. I don't understand it. Your policies allow an open 10-year visitor's visa for parents and grandparents, but you discourage or make it virtually impossible for my wife and children to visit this country. I have been in Canada since 1974. My mother and father fought for many of us to come into this country. When I was at my mom's funeral, my father had asked me, when am I going to meet my granddaughter, my daughter-in-law, and my grandchildren? I said, Dad, I don't know. Every time that I try, I get turned around with excuses and red tape. I've just now been recently told by my MP that I have to now prove the validity of my family, my wife and children. Excuse me, sir, but I've been married to my wife for 10 years. We have children together. And yet, I have to prove the validity of my family. Do you ever stop and think that your decision and policies have a negative effect on us? Because it has. My children were so visibly upset when they found out that Grandma died. Because your policies have made it virtually impossible for them to come visit. I'm a Canadian taxpayer. I'm a Canadian citizen. And yet, the audacity for this government to play with my life and to tell me whether my family and my children qualify enough to come visit this country I am insulted. Many people that I've spoken to are disgusted with the policies and the agenda that your immigration ministry puts forward. I am tired and frustrated because I feel like I'm being bullied and reprimanded by your system, whether they deem to have my children and my wife be worth it to come into this country to visit. Through this COVID crisis, my wife and I have discussed how many years that I've lost without my wife and children beside me. It's going on 7 years. 7 years that I have lost that I can never regain because of policies and procedures. Would you be willing, sir, to lose 7 years without your wife and children because of policies and red tape? I don't think so. But yet you expect me to pay the price because of your policies. However, I'm expected to pay taxes and to be a good citizen. But my family, the message that you're sending them, they don't qualify. They're not good enough. They might disrupt our immigration system. I did not get married to be a single person. I did not get married to be without my children. But yet, your policies have made that very, very clear. That country, during this COVID, has opened the door and the opportunity for me to go back to be with my family without question. Yet, I can't have them come here because of your policies and red tape. You don't know how disappointed I am. When I'm standing at the gravesite of my mom and my brothers and sisters with their wives and children circled around them, but yet I'm standing alone without my family when I need them the most. Your policies seem to take precedence over the value of what family is. I don't apologize for this message. I would just hope that somewhere within the decision making that your cabinet and your people together stop and think that it's not just about bringing immigrants, but reunification of families, especially during this time. But yet you make it virtually impossible. I have no faith in this system. And it'll be a miracle. It'll be a miracle if ever, once again, out of my pocket, out of my expenses, that you actually allow my children and my wife to get off the airplane to come into this country to visit me, her husband, and their father. I'm tired of being pushed around, told how things are going to be. This is my family you're talking about. These are my children, and this is my wife. And Immigration Canada does not have the right to dictate and tell me when I can and cannot have the right to have my family with me in this country. Because if this is the type of government that I'm dealing with, then maybe I need to start reconsidering my location. Please reform your policies and allow many of us who are going through this, thousands and thousands of people that are in my situation, the right to be with their families and to have them visit this country. That's a very simple request. And like I said, if you can't even deliver on that, then what am I doing wasting my time living in Canada, which has been my home since 1974? Because if you keep doing this, you're just slapping me in the face and slapping my family and my wife and kids and telling them that they're insignificant, they're of no value to this country to visit. So I expect change. And I deserve the right to have my family beside me, especially through this COVID, because I'm here alone without my wife and children when I need them the most, especially when I'm burying my mom.